for those who want to do more to help your neighbors and earn some extra cash, you too can become an emergency snow shoveler. Just show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online at nyc.gov/snow, and you can get started right away.
Mondani is shoveling it. It's just not snow. Only in New York City would you need an ID to shovel, just not to vote. That is the contradiction that opponents of Mayor Zoran Mondani are pointing out this afternoon as a record snowstorm slams the northeast of this fine nation. Welcome to the Big Money Show. I'm Dagan McDowell, along with my co-hosts Lydia Hu, Brian Brenberg, Jackie DeAngelis, and with us for 2 hours, Fox Business contributor Jonathan Hoenig. Great to see everybody. The mayor of and a member of the Democrat Socialists of America opposes voter ID laws. His party has called measures like the SAVE Act racist and discriminatory. But if you want to shovel snow in the Big Apple during an emergency, you better bring your paperwork. According to the New York City Sanitation Department website, to register as an emergency snow shoveler, applicants must show up with 2 small photos, 2 original forms of ID, plus copies and your Social Security card. That's more than you're required to fly. This is much more onerous than the TSA. The city says the ID requirements are about verifying identity, eligibility, and payroll compliance. Oh, so now you care if somebody is legal in this country. But when is ID considered a safeguard, and when is it considered a barrier? Jackie's face, if her face
as somebody
could speak.
Who goes to the polls myself and voluntarily takes out my ID only to get laughed at here in New York for showing an ID, I'm finding this rather curious. A Mondani spokesperson told the New York Post this regarding the situation. As with any employer, the city of New York has a legal obligation under federal law to verify work authorization and maintain proper documentation before issuing payment. We are not legally permitted to hand out checks without completing that process. So they are following the strict letter of the law here, but we are a glorious sanctuary city. We are a city with a mayor that is fighting to house illegal immigrants, to give them food, to give them shelter, to give their children access to schools. We give them free health care. Why is it that they can't go shovel snow too? Why is it in this situation we've got to make it completely tedious and arduous for people with pictures and 3 forms of ID? This is an emergency in the city. As a matter of fact, I think he closed the roadways down and extended that till 4 o'clock now. But you need your ID to shovel. But when you're picking your candidate for president, no, they'll laugh at you. They'll laugh at you if you try to show them an ID.
And Jackie, I emphasize what you said. This is an emergency. I mean, you guys have seen the entire city here has shut down, not to mention the airports, which have shut down, which has had ripple effects for travel the whole country across. I mean, the mayor should be doing everything he can to encourage shoveling. Every kid, every high schooler, every college kid should get out there with a shovel. I mean, well, the city could get this under control, but regulations like this, I mean, 5 types of ID just to shovel snow in an emergency situation. I mean, it doesn't take the people of New York very seriously.
Can I just add this? Shovelers earn an hourly rate of $19.14. The pay will jump to $28.71 after the first 40 hours that are worked. This is according to the Sanitation Department's website. So if we've got people here who are sponging off the system, but you are willing to pay them, I'm just curious why we won't actually pay them to work.
So you want some consistency in the process?
Yeah, just like,
right.
you know.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
Like the superpower of the left is not caring at all about consistency, right? That's how they make a living in life. They never care about consistency. Actually, what's so crazy about this is America likes ID. America likes showing ID for things where you want to make sure a person is who they say they are. The only people who don't like that, actually, it's not even the left. If you look at poll after poll, Democrats say they support voter ID. Independents say they support voter ID. The people who don't are the politicians, because their interest is not integrity. It's getting votes, and they think they're going to get votes from people who aren't supposed to be here legally. So the whole thing is a small section of Democrats who want to stay in office, and they say IDs are the barrier to us staying in office. That's why they can have such inconsistency.
Just recently, I was just doing my own check on when I've had to show ID. I helped someone apply for a library card, had to show ID at our local library. You know, I went down to D.C. recently to cover some Supreme Court matters for us, had to show ID when I was accessing our federal buildings, checked into a hotel in New York City overnight so I could be here with all of you lovely people today here at the Bureau. Guess what I had to do when I got to the front desk? I had to show ID. It just really illustrates hypocrisy and a lack of real basic common sense. And I was really curious about where's this origin of we don't want to have to show ID. I was so fascinated when I saw, going back a couple of decades, you know, Jimmy Carter funded a study on voter ID back in the late 90s and early 2000s and came out overwhelmingly in support of voter ID laws. It was a bipartisan study that he funded. It's just amazing to me, the evolution and how far the Democrat Party has come away from what really seems to be like common sense and reasonable. And to your point, Brian, about why don't Democrats get behind, you know, broader efforts to just recognize what's reasonable and mandates to show ID? It's because we have cities like here in New York City where the local leaders and their municipal elections are outwardly pushing to remove requirements for voter ID. And it was not long ago when they actually passed laws here that allowed non-citizens to vote in the local elections. The local elections. They don't want to come out and say that on a federal level that that's what they're moving toward. But here locally in New York City and other municipalities, that is absolutely what they're trying to accomplish.
I mean, Lydia, even to get into this building, you need to show ID, to your point. So why is it that, you know, you have to show ID for all these things except conveniently to vote, as Brian points out? I mean, is this just politicians who are looking to scrounge up votes from any constituency they can, even an illegal constituency?
Yeah, that's why they opened the border. That is the sole reason the Democrats opened the border. Said it over and over again, but if you flip Texas, no Republican will ever get elected to the White House again, and they doggone well knew that. But I looked at this from a kind of an economic perspective, that the requirements to shovel snow is the bureaucracy for the sake of bureaucracy. And let regulations, like, on top of regulations to make sure you're not violating unnecessary rules. That if you just imagine if you ran this is like the DMV and the TSA. You're not preventing harm with these regulations in place. Do you see what I'm saying? That if you ran half the country that way, it would be a snow show, I didn't use the curse word, of low productivity. And we don't have that much government, mercifully, relative. It's a very small percentage of our overall economy relative to other major economies, which makes us prosperous. But it's just unnecessary rules. It's like, it should be like, I guess they're worried about illegal aliens shoveling snow.
Getting paid by the city. Because you can't get, what he's saying is...
They can be supported financially by the city, but not paid by the city.
They can't actually do work.
Yeah, another inconsistency, right? So we'll shovel money to you, but if you want to shovel, you got to have an ID. It's kind of like, why are we doing it that way?
Just think about our viewers, you know, I mean, their homes or their driveways might be snowed in, and a kid comes along and says, hey, I'll shovel your driveway for $10 or $15. Do our viewers ask for, well, let me see your ID, let me see your social security card? They say, hey, kid, go at it, you know, here's a couple of bucks. but Mandami, for some reason, when it comes to emergencies, not voting, but it comes to a city in actual emergency. As I said, I mean, there's no traffic on the streets here. There's no business getting done. Why can't he bend the rules, bend those onerous regulations just for a couple hours so that flights can get undergoing, so that traffic can get, so that the city can come back online again?
Do you think he should be paying? So let's say a illegal migrant showed up to shovel the streets in New York. Do you think the city should pay those guys to do that?
Personally, absolutely. I think even younger people, kids, I was shoveling snow when I was 13, 14, and 15 years old. I didn't have an ID or, a work permit necessarily. This is an emergency. Let's get everyone out there pitching in and get the city back online.
Illegal aliens got handouts.
Right. But they can't work?
But you can't do work in exchange for the handout. What I was trying to get at is it's regulations for the sake of regulation. For example, when you carry a dog through security in an airport, until recently, they would swab your hands for bomb residue. And that's not stopping bombs. It is just a regulation and procedure that is pointless, but it's a regulation and procedure, so they have a regulation and procedure, and this is the same thing.
Can I just add one thing? It's okay for illegal migrants to be delivering our food and doing all these other things where actually they're getting taken advantage of because they don't have documents. So somebody who does have documents is farming out work to them to do it and presumably taking something to do nothing. So that's okay by Mandami because he'll say, and the Democrats will say, and Nancy Pelosi will say, well, we need all of this immigration because these people do the job that people in America don't want to necessarily do. We need it, and we're going to have a problem when we don't have this kind of work to kind of supplement and farm and do all these different things. But you can't shovel the snow, Dagan.
No.
And we suffer as a result.
And it also, one of the undercurrents is that you have migrants doing this work. It makes the unions mad.